Okay, so today we're going to do circles in the coordinate plane and where you're going to write the standard equation of a circle in a coordinate plane. The next lesson will be a different equation of a circle. So this is called the standard equation. And it's pretty simple. Basically, the standard equation of a circle is derived from the Pythagorean theorem. If this is the center and I'm at some point on the circle, the equation would come from, if I drew a triangle here, a right triangle, let's pretend like that's a straight line. Well, remember, r squared is the hypotenuse squared. Well, a squared would be this distance, and b squared would be this distance. So it's just going to be x squared plus y squared. But we need that distance, so it would be x minus whatever this number is, h squared, plus y minus this number, because that would give us the length of that side. X minus h would give us length of this side. So that side squared plus that side squared equals r squared. So the equation is just x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That is the standard equation of a circle. So you take x minus the h, which is the x coordinate at the center, plus y minus the y coordinate at the center, which is represented by k, equals the radius squared. So if I know the center is 5, negative 2, and the radius is 7, that tells me that h is 5, right? H is 5 and k is negative 2 and r is 7. So if I just plug this in, we leave x as x minus h, which is 5 squared, plus y minus k, which is negative 2, so minus negative 2 squared equals 7 squared. Well, this thing I'm not going to leave like this, because minus and negative we know becomes positive. So x minus 5 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 7 squared, which is 49. We always multiply that out when we write the equation. So, in other words, if you have a negative value at your center, either a negative h or a negative k, this ends up being plus in the parentheses. If it's a positive value, then it's minus, and that's based on the formula here, minus h and minus k. So go ahead and try these two and this one. Some of you don't have the notes, but you should be able to see the notes. So this center is 3, 5, the radius is 6, center negative 2, negative 1, radius is square root of 2. Go ahead and try those two, and then come back. Okay, so if the center is 3, 5, I write x minus 3 squared, because h is 3, plus y minus 5 squared equals 6 squared, which is 36. And then b is going to be x plus, because both of those are negative, so they're both going to be plus 2 squared plus y plus 1 squared. And now let's think about the square root of 2 squared. That's the square root of 2 times the square root of 2, which just equals 2. So we'll just write 2 here. So r squared is 2. And then the third one, the equation of a circle with a center at the origin and a radius of 3. If you didn't already try it, stop the video and try it. But if I say the center is at the origin, we know that is 0, 0. So I could write x, I gotta stop using my mouse, x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 3 squared. Well, this is just x minus 0 squared is just x squared, right? Because I'm not subtracting anything. And this is y squared. And this would be 9. So you would write that out. So if you were going backwards and you see, and I say tell me the center and radius, and you don't have a minus something with your variable, then that coordinate, either h or k or both, would be 0. What if I give you the graph and told you to write the equation of the circle? Well, you just need to figure out the center and radius, and then you can write it. So the center is right here, and the coordinates of those, the x value is 0, and from the scale I can see the y value is 3, so it'd be 0, 3. And then your radius, just count, since each of these units is 1, 2, 3. So each unit is 1, so it looks like the radius is 2. I'm going to write x squared, because h is 0, plus y minus 3 squared equals 2 squared, which is 4. Okay, and then the second one, you can stop the video and then turn it back on after you try it. The center, the x value is 2, and now the y value is 0, and the radius, the units are 1 each, so the radius is 3. So I would write x minus 2 squared. And if you wrote y minus 0 squared, I wouldn't mark it wrong, but you would never see that on a test choice. It would have to be written like this, equals 3 squared, which is 9. Okay, so that's easy. Write the standard equation of a circle given the center, with the given center, and it passes through the point. So now they're not giving us the radius, but this is pretty easy. I actually had a student think up this whole method, and it's kind of nice. So I know this is h, and this is k, and this is x, and this is y. So I can use that to solve for r. So I know h is 5. Wait, that's wrong. Remember, I do x minus h. So I'm going to do 2 minus 5 squared plus y minus k, so 9 minus 9 squared. That's going to tell me r squared. So 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared. 9 minus 9 is 0. Well, we've got negative 3 squared, which is 9. So r squared is 9. So r is going to be the square root of 9, which is 3. So now I can write the equation. Now I put x in instead of 2 and y in instead of 9. So x minus h, which is 5 squared, plus y minus 9 equals r squared, which is 9. Okay, so that's a pretty easy thing to do. So actually at this point you could have left this as 9 equals r squared. You don't really even need r because you're squaring it when you put it back in the equation anyways. So go ahead and try this problem. Stop your video and then come back and we'll go over it. Okay, so I know in this case this is my center, so this is h and this is k, and this is one of the points on the circle, so that's x and that's y. So let's solve for r squared. So r squared is going to be x, which is 4, minus h, which is 3 squared, plus y, which is 4, minus 1 squared. That's r squared. 4 minus 3 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. So 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9, so r squared is 10. And you don't need to go square root of 10 because you need r squared for the equation anyways. So now we put x and then use h, and y minus 1 is going to equal 10. Okay, so that's if you don't know the radius. You can solve for it. We're not going to do this one. We're going to go, your notes have, I think I lost the other problems. If I give you the equation and have you tell me the center and radius, what would it be? Hold on. Okay, I paused and I'm back now and I added this in. So find the center and radius given the standard equation. Well, I can just go backwards. Remember these are going to be the h and k are going to be the opposite of whatever these two numbers are. So h would be 3. Oops. H would be 3 and k would be negative 5. So that's your center. And the radius is going to be the square root of this number. So if r squared equals 16, r would be 4. So that's number 1. Go ahead and stop the video and do 2 and 3. So number 2, since I have no h there, h is 0 and k is positive 4 and r is the square root of 12. We'll just leave it for that. You would normally simplify that or put it in your calculator, but we're going to stop there. And then number 3, my h is negative 2. k is negative 8, and then r is the square root of 2. Alright, and the last problem is a word problem. If you want to stop the video and read it, and then come back. So we have our favorite takeout restaurant will deliver in a 6-mile radius. So that tells us our radius is 6 from the restaurant. If the restaurant is located at the coordinates 2, -1 on a coordinate plane, and the units are miles, what is the standard equation of the outer boundary? In other words, what is the equation of this circle? Let's see, the center is at 2, -1. It's got a 6-mile radius, so let's say this is about 6 miles. So here's my circle, and this is 2, -1. Well, to write the equation, you just have to put in, you just need, wait, that's not 2, -1. You guys are probably screaming, no, Miss Kike. Let me erase that and start over. The center is the origin, 0, 0. So the circle is right here. We're trying to find out, is 2, -1 inside, on, or outside that circle? Where is 2, -1? Okay. Okay, we're going to stop this. Throw it out.